chapter 2. Chapter 2, verse 9. What does it say here?
And it came to pass when they were gone over that Elijah said unto Elijah, ask what I say do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elijah said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me.
That's right. He said a double portion. That's heavy. You understand? So we're moving by what? The Ruach of Yah. That's what we're moving by. See, we ain't worried about anything else. If we go into our 2nd Chronicles, we're moving, and I repeat, by the Ruach of Yah. And I want to prove that to you, because no one can stop us when Yahweh decides to raise us up. You understand what I'm saying? Your deliverance is in the Ruach. And the Ruach is not going to come upon you in foolishness. You understand? The Ruach will come upon you in such a way. It says, 2nd Chronicles, I'm starting at chapter 20. I'm starting at verse 13. And all Judah stood before Yahweh with their little ones, their wives, and their children. Then upon Jezaziel, the son of Zechariah, the son of Benaiah, the son of Juel, the son of Mathanah, a Levi of the son of Asaph, came the Spirit of Yahweh in the midst of the congregation. Do you hear that? The Spirit came into the midst. And what did the Spirit say?
And he said, ye all Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou King Jehoshaphat, thus saith Yahweh unto you, be not afraid, nor dismayed by reason of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but Yahweh.
Yeah, see, he said the battle. This like Yahweh has told us. He said, Yahweh came down and said, look, man, this battle is not about y'all. And this is what has to be taught. These brothers and sisters, teach it right. If you can't teach it right, don't teach it at all. That's why it says in Isaiah 40, comfort ye, my people, said Yahweh. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned. For she has received of Yahweh's hand double for all her sins. So why would you prepare the people for what they don't have to be prepared for? That's why when the Ruach came in to see, when the Ruach is on the teacher or on the teachers, they teach correctly. See, we have to realize it's not of us. When that great multitude came, it said that when they stood with their wives, when they stood, a Levi of the son, he was a Levi, which the Levites were the priests, and they had the ability to be receptive where the Ruach would come upon them because they lived a life of purity, so that the Ruach could talk to them and give them wise counseling in the direct decision that they should make. So this Levi was in the midst, and there was a great disappointment that Israel would have received, but they had communication from Yahweh God by the priest that was the Levi. And Yahweh said, be not afraid of this great multitude, for the battle is of me. Right? And he says, tomorrow go down against them. Behold, they come up by the cliffs of Ziz, and ye shall find them at the end of the brook, before the wilderness of Jariel. Go ahead.
And ye in this battle, set yourselves Stand ye still and see the salvation of Yahweh.
That's right. See, we gonna see the salvation of Yahweh in America.
They just came to witness.
That's right. That's right. We're here to bear witness that Yahweh God is for us. That we don't need no weapon. We don't need no forum to talk about. We just need to understand. Pick up your Torah and begin to keep these commandments of your God, so that as the Ruach is coming through, the Ruach will anoint you for the salvation. That's why he said, gather yourself together, O nation, not desired before the decree, and the rod shall not set upon the lot of the righteous, and the name of Yahweh is a strong tower, and the righteous runneth into it. And the remnant of Israel shall not do no iniquity, nor shall any lies be found in their mouth. So in your purity, in your fine action of agreement with your God, you will find your salvation. Because your salvation is not in any other place. It's not in your family. It's not in your degrees. It's not whether you're a murderer. It's not whether you think that you have some office of authority. Your salvation is in your agreement, in keeping of the Torah, which is the satisfaction towards your God who create all things in this universe. You have to please him. You ain't got no salvation no other way. I don't care whether you hit the lotto or you poor. Salvation comes to one way: keeping of the Torah, serving Yahweh. That's all it comes. Any other way, you're fooling yourself. It's not through your children, not through your wife, not through your degree, not through your money, not through anything, whether you own a car, a house, or you own property. That's why Yahweh says, and he says it very clearly, and that's why we read to know the absolute truth of a truth. And Yahweh put this truth before us continuously. And he says here, and it's so plainly said, and so plainly meant. What does he says? For the redemption of their souls is precious, and it ceases forever. It says, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to Allahima a ransom for them. See, you can't give no ransom. For the redemption of their souls is precious, and it ceases forever. It says they that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of riches. Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he die, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. And that's Psalm 49, starting at verse 6, going to verse 16, 7. So we can see that you don't have to worry about whether you're rich or poor, because ain't none of this. Your poverty ain't going to leave after you. Everybody's leaving equally. You came here with nothing, you're going to leave with nothing. You ain't going to leave with your children, your wife, your car, your money. Forget about your degree. What you going to stand before God and say what?
I got a doctor's.
Yeah, you're going to have to say, Yahweh going to say, what is your righteousness? And righteousness comes to what? Keeping of the Torah. Keeping of the Torah. That's where righteousness comes. You understand? Being an Israelite, we were born. That's your nationality. That's your birthright. This is like an Italian or Roman. You understand what I'm saying? You can go in there and live. Anybody can keep the Torah. The Torah is law. You go into any city, any country, they have laws that structure them. We have laws. And when strangers come, they'll call what? Gentiles. Or even call what? Heathens. And they say what? The Gentile is a law unto themselves. That's why you got all these men marrying each other. They passing laws to justify what is wrong. But it's their law. They don't. Yahweh God gave the children of Israel a law. He didn't give nobody else a law. That's why he says so we are light. That's why the prophet said we are light unto the Gentiles, to give them some foresight that these things are wrong. You know, we stand up to show them, no, you don't marry a man. You understand? You don't marry a woman. Or two women don't get married. So Yahweh God has put the law that we might be a light to them, to explain to them you don't have sex with animals. Oh yeah, you don't do these things that are an abomination, because when we went down into the promised land, what did Yahweh say? Don't do these things, because the nation and the land spew them out. When Paul wrote his epistles to the Romans, he told them about the same disgusting things that they were doing. And when we began to practice these abominable acts, the land spewed us out. And this land will spew them out. This is the rule of action to reaction. How could you have sex with an animal and not explain when Yahweh said this is confusion? It's written in the book, there's no place in the Bible that justifies two men getting married. None. It said love. It didn't say have sexual attachment to each other. You can love a man, but when you have a sexual a relation, that's on another level. With animals, you don't need a law to tell you not to have sex with animals or with another man. You can't produce nothing out of that. And I continue to say that. Two daddies, that's impossible. Yahweh God said, be fruitful and multiply. There's no multiplication, and I will utter it and say it time again. If two lesbians are so-called married, and they get a man to have sex with one of them, is that adultery or not? Oh yeah. How you think they're going to have a baby? They can't do nothing with each other. You understand what I'm saying? So the point is, they have defiled the image. You are the image of Yahweh God. And they have turned their backs in disgrace. God said, let us make man in our image and our likeness. Man and woman. Not man and woman and woman. That's right. There's nothing they can do for each other. They have a reprobating mind to do that which is not convenient. It's not convenient. Paul even said that when he wrote to them. He said, how is it convenient that you will lay down with another man or another woman, burning with lust? And he had that same input to the Romans. So they just coming back doing what is natural. It's natural for them. Now, and we know the court, there was no punishment that was found to be so humiliating to the image of Yahweh God that he came down and destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And he going to destroy yes, they did it secretly. They always been doing it. But Yahweh said, till the sons of perdition has been revealed. So Yahweh is saying, look, let me show you what they were doing behind closed doors. We're going to bring it out into the open. And he's brought it out. So let us know that these things that Yahweh God is showing us the abomination of those that are leaders among us, those that stand in positions to decide the outcome of people, that they practice a very deceitful act behind closed doors. Governor Greevy will never live it down. He will go to his grave knowing he was in a position of authority. And it was what uncovered that his children couldn't look at him and say he was a man. But let me read Isaiah 49. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Judah, of Jacob, and to restore the reserve of Israel. But I have also given thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the ends of the earth. See, we are light unto the Gentiles to encourage them. That's not right to do. You don't do nothing like that. Okay, so let us go to Zechariah and let us see Yahweh God is not pleased with what we put our attention on. We give value to things that have no value at all. The only thing that has value in this earth is the Torah, the laws, the governing structure that Yahweh God says that when a man lives in them, he has a fullness of life. You understand? Yahweh has presented life eternal to the world through his children Israel carrying. But we give preference to things that have no value. Let us start in Zephaniah chapter 1. Zephaniah chapter 1. Let us see what has value. Because these things that people, they put value in their degrees, in their children, in their money, in owning a home. These things are things that will perish. But let us see what has value. Let's go. Okay, we are on Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 18.
Okay. It says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy vengeance of all them that dwell in the land.
Yeah, see, we want to see. Yahweh God told us because we put value on our money. We thought that money was going to save us. You understand? Let's go to Ezekiel. We want to find out. See, Ezekiel going to tell us and further substantiate that money, forget about your money. And nobody's saying that you don't need money. You need money, but money is not your salvation. You understand? I don't care how much money you got in the bank. There's no ransom for righteousness. You can't buy it. You got to earn it through sincereness of this interaction with it, and that is keeping of the Torah. Let us go. We ain't talking about people that read it and then they get up and go and do evil. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about people that read it and live it. It's two different things. You can't not cross the Torah and expect anything else but for the negative action that you participate in. But let us go to Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 19. What does it say there? It says, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither full their bowels, because it is the stumbling stone of their iniquity. Their money, their wealth was the stumbling stone to their iniquity that Yahweh God was displeased. Let's go. That's right. Even to this day, they look for money. Like money's going to help them. Money ain't going to help you. Money ain't going to help you. Hold on to that money. Let's go to Psalm 49. We just got finished, but we're going to go back to it. Psalm 49. And I want to show you, it's that we must put. I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to Allahayimah a ransom for him. That's right. See, you can't redeem him. And verse 6, it said, they that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches. See, they boast themselves as though these things going to save them. It says, for the redemption of their souls is precious and is ceased forever. And when we go down to verse 9, that he should not live forever and not see corruption. See, so when we put these things together, we know that the wealth does not, and I say wealth, money, is not going to save you, because be not afraid when one is made rich, for when the glory of his house is increased, what it says, For when he died, he shall not carry nothing away. So let's go to Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs, because see, let's set it straight. You can have all the money in the world. You better have all the righteousness you can get. Psalm, Proverbs 10, verse 15.
It says, the rich man's wealth is in his strong city.
That's right. The rich man's wealth is in his strong city. Go ahead.
The destruction of the poor is their poverty.
That's right. See, they gonna come into poverty because in their riches, what do? They mess up and they start destroying the poor people. Because it said his conceit is in his riches, his strong. What it said, the rich man's wealth is his strong city. Is his strong city. That's how he feels. That's right. His strong city is in his wealth. It says what?
It says the labor.
Here you go. It says the rich man's wealth is his strong city, and as a high wall is in his own conceit. And that's Psalm 18, verse 11. But let us go to St. Luke, and we're going to read in St. Luke about Lazarus, starting at St. Luke chapter 16. We're going to read about Lazarus 16, starting at 16. Lazarus 16. We're going to start at 20. We're going to read. We're going to start is St. Luke 16. Let's start at 28. What does it say? 28.
For I had 5 that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into the place of torment.
Okay, now let's go back to starting at 19 of that same chapter and read down. What does it say?
There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died, and was carried by the angels unto Abraham's bosom. And the rich man also died, and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torment, and seeing Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. And besides all this, between us, there was a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to you what would come from thence. And he said, I pray thee, therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my brother's house, for I had 5 brethren, that they may testify unto them, lest they also come to this place of torment. Abraham said unto him, They have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. And he said, Nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. And he said unto him, If they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead.
That's right. He said, I got 5 brothers. In other words, they have been taught about riches. And I want to go because I don't want them to come here. He said, man, like, hey, everybody got their job. Let the prophets do. If they don't hear from them, why should they hear from you? You know, you in your place because of your action. He said, you stay right where you at. Let's go on to see. Let's go to Proverbs, because see, I want to break it down to you. All this money and stuff. I'm not saying money's not good. Money you can't take with you. Put value on what has value. Money has value in the place where it has value. But when you die, you ain't taking none of this with you. So we in Proverbs 11, verse 4. What? What does it say? Proverbs.
Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivered from death.
What delivers from death?
Righteousness.
Righteousness. Like, hey, these things does not profit. I want to tell you, these things does not profit. And I want to encourage these things for you. Because we're going to step up. And we need, only thing that's going to deliver you is what? Is righteousness. Don't let nobody tell you that righteousness won't deliver you. Because righteousness, you can only get righteousness one way. And that is what? You have to keep the commandments of Yahweh. That's right. Am I right?
Right.
Am I right? So don't let nobody say. That's right. Because these are the things that Yahweh God wants us to do. So I want to thank you, and may Yahweh bless each and every one of us for hearing. And it shall come to pass, if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh God, as he has commanded us. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh our God as he has commanded us. So righteousness is keeping the commandments. And commandments is what? The Torah. May Yahweh bless each and every one of us. May Yahweh have mercy upon us. The Shabbatah, Atniga, Quadawashah, Yahweh, Makabada, Yahweh, Allah Hayama, Allah Hayama, Allah Hayama, Shabbatah, Atniga, Yahweh, Makabada. May Yahweh bless us and keep us. May the Spirit of our God be ever with us. May we do the things that our God, Yahweh God, will bless us and keep us and strengthen us. Let us take hold of the Torah and encourage each one to do and to walk. To serve Yahweh God, who is the creator of it all, who creates the sun and all that is, has been, shall ever be. May Yahweh bless us in our goings and our comings. May our mind be ever upon him. May we love Yahweh God and bless his holy and righteous name. May Yahweh God, who is God, may he be ever praised. Amen.
Amen.